From the 1011 Now streaming studio, this is 1011's Morning Pulse.
Sponsored by Murray Roofing.
Good morning and happy Halloween. This is Craig Allison with your Morning Pulse for Thursday, October 31st. Our first story is up on the national side. Fresh slivered onions used on McDonald's quarter pounder hamburgers appear to be the likely source of a recent E. coli outbreak. That's according to the CDC. Last week, supplier Taylor Farms issued a recall of some of its onion products because of a potential contamination. The outbreak is tied to one death and dozens of others getting sick in more than a dozen states, including some here in southeast Nebraska. CDC calls the current risk to the overall public very low. Your second story, the Nebraska State Patrol put away 41-year-old Sevelia Cook after a chase that started in Cass County and ended up in Lincoln. Started when a vehicle had been reported driving on the wrong side of the road. The NSP eventually found the suspect at a gas station in Waverly, but began a chase after the driver wouldn't stop. When the troopers searched the driver's car, NSP says they found 24 grams of meth. She's now in Lancaster County Jail. Third story, we're less than a week away from Election Day, and looking past just the presidential election, Deb Fischer and Dan Osborne are looking for votes on the campaign trail. Fischer has been a U.S. Senator for the last 12 years. Before that, she served in Nebraska unicameral, while Dan Osborne is new to politics. He's a Navy veteran and an industrial mechanic. A recent poll from the New York Times and Siena College shows this race is close, as Osborne only trails Fischer by 2 percentage points. Fourth story happening today, Lincoln City officials are set to discuss the completion of a Northeast Lincoln Road project. It's a Layton Avenue rehab project, bringing in a new pavement to a stretch between 48th and 70th. This is just one of a handful of projects that were completed this year, including Phase 2 of the 84th Street project. Mayor Leary and Gaylor Baird and other LTU officials will speak at the press conference slated for 10 a.m. And wrapping things up with your final story, with winter around the corner, we want to remind you about the cold weather rule when it comes to your natural gas bill. The Nebraska Public Service Commission says Black Hills Energy and Northwestern Energy cannot shut off their service without first offering an additional 30 days to pay past the bill's due date. This goes into effect Friday and runs through the end of March. They're urging anyone having trouble paying their bill to reach out to the utility to make arrangements. That is your Morning Pulse for this Halloween 2024, and here's a look at your 7-day forecast.
You've been listening to 1011's Morning Pulse. Watch, listen, stream on the 1011 Now app, on YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Sponsored by Murray Roofing.